Hello everyone, Alex RC Freak here coming at you with another video. And this is a video on the Arrma talion version 3, the newest version. How to take out the rear differential. Okay, it's pretty easy to do. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get this stuff out of the way here real quick here. Alright, anyway. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 socket head style 2.5 millimeter Allen screws to get this case or cover half off. So, and then you got 2 millimeter Allen screws right there to take that off. You got 1.5 millimeter screws, which is a red handle Allen, to take these off. You just loosen them. Now these are plastic right here. Oh, you can't really see that in the video. See if I can get you to see that. But these right here, these are plastic right here, so be careful when you tighten them. You know, just loosen them. You don't have to loosen the grub screw all the way out. You may have to take off a shock. I don't think on this one you do. You may have to take off one side, so we'll see. Anyway, so what you do is just loosen these, but you're going to want to loosen these first, so that way you can pop this cap off and do it that way. So I'm going to do those real quick. Okay, so I got these screws out. Now there's two 2.5 millimeter flat tapered head screws that come out of the bottom. Okay, these are what they look like. These are the ones that come out of the bottom right here, right on the chassis. There's 2 screws. Let's see if I can show you real quick. So right there, so there's 2 screws right here. They're tapered. You may want to loosen these. I don't know if I'm going to loosen these yet. I'm pretty sure I don't need to really. But you can loosen them just to make it a little easier to get these off. Sometimes they're really tight. But you loosen those completely. And then the other ones are the, flat tapered 2 millimeter Allens. See how they're tapered? And these go right there. So, just to show you guys. I just want to make sure I removed the wing too to make it easier to get to these bolts right here. You may need a swivel head kind of Allen with a ball end on it. So that way you can get in and out an angle and loosen them by hand. You may need to do that. So we're just going to take this off. They're tight. Yeah, see? This is what it looks like. This has a little groove in there. I like how this is metal, though, behind it. It's aluminum. It's stamped aluminum. But it's not the highest quality, like, top-notch stuff. But it's stamped aluminum, but it... at least it's aluminum instead of plastic, to where these can bow out, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway. But, yeah, so... It looks like the actual rear diff is leaking. If you look, I don't know how well you guys can see that. I don't know how well you guys can see that, actually. You guys probably can't see it very well. Let's see if I can get it in there. Yeah, you guys can't see it very well. I'll show you, but it looks like it has fluid all over it, so... Yeah, so anyway, let's I'm gonna loosen these 4 screws right here. I'm gonna loosen these sway bar link bolts right here. So you just kind of get in at an angle, just like how I'm doing right here, and you just loosen them. So just loosen it to where the grub screw's flush with the edge. The grub screw's actually flush with that edge on this. And you do that on both sides. So being very cautious and careful not to poke and damage your rubber boot on your shocks here. You don't want to do that. So you just loosen it. And make sure when you do this, the grub screw is facing towards the outside here. Okay? Because if the grub screw is flipped around facing the other way, it'd make it a real... Well, on the back, you might be able to do it if you have a long enough, Allen. But if it's facing the other way, it might be kind of a pain. So make sure it's facing this way so it's facing towards the back of the vehicle, and the same way with the front. Make sure this is facing towards the front of the vehicle. Just a little tip for you guys if you guys are trying to and then you just push them off like that, and then your sway bar link drops, and then you might be able to see it still, maybe not, but see how it's a little bit oily right there? Like, I don't know how well you guys... I'm trying to get you guys to see that. See how it's like a little oily right there on top of this drive cup? It's a little oily. Yeah, it might be leaking or something. I don't know. Seal may not put in there right. Alright, so I'm going to loosen these real quick. and see if I can get my Allen in there. Might be able to do that. I don't know. So that's when you need a round Allen to do that, which is always good to have. I got this Do Pro Allen set. I lost all the other ones, but this is 2.5. But see how it has the round little ball, so you can get there at an angle. It works pretty slick, especially for this car, and you just loosen it. And this one's pretty old, so it's kind of getting worn a little bit, but it gets the job done. It's going into plastic, so I don't know how well you guys can see that. The wings mount's probably in the way, but you just see if you can see some light. Trying to get you guys some light in there, but it's kind of a tight little area. The back diff cover is kind of a pain to get to. Yeah, sorry if my big old hands are in the way. But it's the socket head. It's, you know, there's 3 more of these, so there's 4 total. And that's what a socket head looks like. So just so you guys know, I'm going to loosen the other ones, and we'll get started after I'm done with that. Okay, so just so you guys know, I was trying to get you some light in here, right there. I know the lamp is in the way a little bit, but maybe that's just how you guys are going to have to deal with it at the moment. But these bolts right down here, see this sway bar link? You can remove these 2.5 millimeter Allens right here, these two, and this whole case will come off, and then you can take off your sway bar. But you don't need to do that. You can get it out. Just kind of push this to the side to where you have this little piece of metal right there, this little piece of metal, and the screw will come out. Just a little tip. You know, sometimes you got to use your fingernail kind of as you're turning it with the other hand and kind of pull it out, or, you know, pliers, or, you know, needle-nose pliers. They'll work too. Just thought I'd throw that little tip out there for you guys. Anyway, so now it's ready to pop off. Now these usually fit on there pretty tight. This one, yeah, it was a snug fit. So you just take a paper towel, get that grease off that thing there. And then take it off just like that. So you keep it clean. That way it's already clean, it's ready to be reinstalled. And stick the rear diff cover over by the rear section. And this is just something I have going on right here. Check this out. Right there. So I just got this is for the differentials. That's for the center. This is for the rear. This is stuff I don't wash in the part solvent cleaner. These you can if they're bad, like if your vehicle's used and you went like off-roading with it and these are bad, then yeah, you can wash them. But I don't usually wash these. These I wash sometimes, these little spacers right there, and then those cross pins. I'll sometimes wash those if the fluid's like super muddy and dirty. And then there's where I'm going to stick all the parts that need to get washed in the solvent there. So just so you guys know. Alright, so let's get this thing taken out here. Let's see if I can get it out without popping out an axle. Yeah, see, I'm going to need to pop out a shock, which is no big deal. Easy as pie. So, which I'm going to have to do anyway, so. On both, so I guess I might as well. It'd be a lot easier anyway, you know what I'm saying? But, hey, question for everybody that's watching this video, actually. Post in the comments below, please. If you have an Arrma, what is your favorite Arrma? I'd love to hear about it. Seriously, I'd really like to hear about it, actually. What is your favorite Arrma, and what do you like about it the most? So, and if you have a talion, do you guys ever take it to an actual racetrack and actually race it with other vehicles, or not? I'd really like to hear it, honestly. If you guys would comment below if you guys have a talion or a Creighton and you guys actually race them, like in, like, you know, at your local track or whatever, I'd really like to hear that. I think that'd be very neat. So, just on a side note. So, okay. Now, the thing with these things, I've never really liked, they have CVDs up front, right? Okay. But they have dog bones in the back. These are dog bones. Make sure to not lose one. I lost one, and I had to buy a set. So, but these are dog bones. they have in the back. They work, they get the job done, but I'm not a big fan of dog bones. So I'm just going to set that in my extra parts bin without having to lose anything. And see how this has oil on it? Like, I don't know if you can see that. See that oily residue? Kind of right there? My finger touched it and kind of wiped away, but that's right out of the box. And there's the washer. This goes towards the ring gear. This is the ring gear. That's the differential gear. I'm just going to spray that off with a brake cleaner. Wipe it up, you know, as best I can. To spray it off with the brake cleaner using the straw. And just do that, because these seem to, they put so much Loctite on those drive cups that it's making it a giant pain in the rear to get them, you know, out, or basically remove them, if you want to use the right word. So I just don't want to really damage anything, put any scratches or gouges in the plastic. I'll just brake clean it off. It'll be all right. So anyway, so now we got the diff loosened. So now what you're gonna want to do is start wiping off this grease. Grab it by the drive cup, and you can just take a paper towel. This is why I like paper towels, is you can just wipe off this grease here. Trying not to drop it all over the place. And you just kind of do that until the diff cup is mostly clean, because you're going to be cleaning it anyway. If you're doing it the right way, you know, like if you go to a hobby shop and pay them to rebuild your diffs, if you're new, I can promise you right now they're not going to clean the parts and parts solvent cleaner. I guarantee that. They're just going to basically wipe it off like this, call it a day. They're not even going to bother spraying it with brake cleaner. See, that's one thing I don't like. You know, I worked for a hobby shop and for 5 years, and I was a manager there in the RC section, and when people they would actually come down just to have me work on their RCs. They'd actually drive down there just to have me repair their RCs, because when I did it, I would use my own shims and everything on other people's rigs. If the diff, like if I was doing a diff service, because, you know, let's say somebody just got started into it and their diff was shredded, their ring and pinion, and they just got the ring and pinion, but the diff factory had a lot of slop in it in that particular vehicle, I would shim it for that vehicle just out of kindness, you know, so it's done right, so that way it lasts. And, you know, I got a lot of people coming back to me and wanting me to work on their rigs, because there's one month where I had, I don't know, probably 15 RCs to do full rebuilds on the diffs and stuff. So, you know, and like complete overhauls, and that was nitro and electric. So I do a lot of electric nowadays. I don't do so much nitro just because it's so expensive for the field. But anyway, you loosen these 4 screws here. See if I can get you a better view there. But you loosen those 4 screws there. This will come off. Make sure to not wash these bearings right here. So I'm going to loosen those. Okay, so taking this off, just loosen the screws. Look at that. Basically bone dry. So that's what I mean. It's very important to look at that. There's no fluid in there. And for the people that just go out and drive, you know, don't do any maintenance to the rig, you could cause a lot of damage to your RC. You know, just saying, it's very, very important to do that. Now I'm going to try, here's what I'm going to do, see? Now watch. I'm going to try to find a lip of the gasket, if I can use it. Okay, now, being very careful, just kind of work around, like if you see how I'm doing that. Now, I'm using the sharp end very gently. I'm not going to do it too much. There you go, and then the gasket comes off. Okay, now that's the best way to do it. Sharp blade. I mean, it's very important. Wipe off all the oil on your blade, just in case you're using it to cut for Alexa body on stickers. If you have oil on there, it's gonna make a bad day for your paint job, that's for sure. Promise you that. So stick that gasket where it's not gonna get damaged. Take this. I'm gonna use this little hair towel I have here, and I'm just gonna pop them on out here. So what you do is just grab it. Just grab it if you can. If it wants to pop it out like that. Grab a new those pliers. Grab this gear. Pop pop it out like that. Okay. Grab your other needle nose pliers. You're having to grab a lot of needle nose pliers today, it seems like. Pull the pin out. Push that out. Take your... Yeah, this is like light 10,000 weight fluid. It's really light fluid. Just saying. Take your gasket, stick it over in your organized section. Like I say, I know there's a lot of tools on the ground, but this is how I organize. Yeah, sorry for my hands in the way, but like front, center, and rear diff, you can stick that. And then these are the rear end parts, like the cover and, you know, the tie brace for the bars in the back. These bars in the back, there's that brace and that plastic cover. So I'm going to stick this in there, making sure to remove that bearing. Set that bearing aside over in the rear diff section. And then this, I'm going to use my needle nose pliers. Grab it. Make sure you got to grab the pinion here. And then it's stuck on there pretty tight, so I'm telling you guys right now. Make sure you got a hold on it. And stick those pins. I'm going to wipe these pins off. You know, stick them over side to the rear diff. Take these, inspect them. You know, just inspect them. You know, do that. Chuck them over there. Okay. These cross pins. Dry them. Wipe them off with the paper towel. Stick them over there. And do with these. Stick them over there, and then you can dry this off too. You know, keep it clean. You know, that's the thing, is when you're doing this, cleanliness is key. So, like I say, take these, wipe them off. Sorry if my arms are in the way of the camera there, but yeah, and just set them aside. So that way, when you're setting them aside, you want it to look something like this. So, you know, you got your drive cups. These are your drive cups. You know, these are your cross pins. These are your drive cup pins for that gear, the spider gears. You know, this is all your case has. So something like that you want to kind of do. And then you got your gear right here. I want to take that seal. And here's how I do it. I just take the seal and tap it down just like that. And I do not ever let this touch brake cleaner, carb cleaner, you know, not even all-purpose cleaner. I just take a paper towel and wipe them clean. If you service your diffs I like to do it on vehicles that take 2 batteries. Like on vehicles that take 2 batteries, I like to do it either, or like you can use a single 6L on this too, I guess. But I like to do it every 6 runs, go through the whole vehicle, 6 to 10 runs. And some people might be like, oh, that's too soon. But, you know, I'd rather have it maintained properly for less problems down the road than to do it every 20 runs, let's say. And your diffs are kind of feeling gritty, and then, you know, yeah, it's just, I don't know. And if you, or you could do it this way too. You could do it this way. You could drive all summer, as long as you're not doing like major insane bashing. You could drive it all summer. You know, and if you're like me, that doesn't like to drive them in the rain or the snow, you can service them in the wintertime, and it could be like your winter project. If you have a few RCs, you can kind of just go through them all in the wintertime, just kind of rebuild them, re-grease them, so that way in the summertime, they're all nice and, you know, good for you. You know, and just maybe a thought for y'all. So, it's kind of what I do, you know. So, anyway, we're going to go over to this. Now, keep in mind, you want to make sure you got all 4 of these washers here. So, very important. 4 of those washers. Okay, so I got 3. And I got 4. Okay, so I got 4 of them. Now, all these spider gears, just chuck them in the clean pile, because they need to be cleaned. That one's clean. That one's clean. I just kind of wipe them off because this fluid is still pretty clean. If it was really dirty, I'd take like a brake cleaner to do these or something, or like, you know, solvent cleaner to clean them. Also, on these washers, when you guys clean them and stuff, if you guys are rebuilding your differentials, especially, you know, if you're rebuilding your diffs, make sure that there's no grittiness. Like when you're cleaning them, make sure that the thing, whatever you're cleaning with, paper towel, dirty rag, or a rag that you don't care if it gets a little grease on it, make sure that it doesn't have like rocky, like sandy, gritty. Like make sure your A-arms weren't all dirty. Here, hold on. Make sure you didn't use it to wipe your A-arms clean on your RC, and then you wipe this clean with it, where you get like a little gritty, sandy residue on there. That'll sand away on your gear, just so you guys know. Seriously, it's very important. When you're rebuilding your diffs, do not do that, because it'll cause you problems, and I promise you that. I've learned that from experience when I first did it. My first rebuild, you know, I thought I was doing everything perfect when I very first did it, and I didn't know nothing about this hobby. I first started, like everyone, when they first do something, they don't always know the 100% right way to do it. And then after you're done wiping everything down, you can use that to kind of clean up all any residue on the table and stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, but that's basically how you take off the diff. I'm going to use spray cleaner and clean that out in there. And it'll definitely keep this clean and stuff. And I'll have some surprises for you guys in the back end section. Can you guess what I'm going to be doing to it? So it's not just going to be a diff change. So anyway, the shocks, so I actually may keep the same as they are. I'm not 100% sure. I'm changing these rod ends though, with RPM short rod ends. This is going to be well worth it, because these will snap right off on you. And these are plastic pillow balls, or hollow balls, if you want to call them that, on the shocks. I don't like that design, but what can you do? Anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. I really appreciate it. I apologize if my videos are long, but I try to be as detailed as I possibly can for you guys. So seriously, I really appreciate if you guys actually stay and watch the video. Like I say, I get no benefit, just all I get is just the knowledge that you guys like to watch my videos. And like, if you know me and you know my channel, I like to be as thorough as I possibly can for you guys. So it does mean a lot to me, because I don't want to be one of those guys that tells you the wrong information. I'm not saying I'm right on every single thing on the planet, but I'm just saying I want to be I want to be that guy that tells you the right information, how to do it, you know, the right way, so that way it doesn't give you problems. Anyway, but thank you guys for watching. Alex RC Freak out. Peace.